To all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to...
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Shelby Williams. I'm doing Top Shelf Sports today. It's my YouTube show that I like to talk about everything that's going on in the sports world. Of course, we're coming off the Super Bowl, really getting into basketball season here, and a couple other exciting things that I wanted to touch on. Thank you guys, as always, for joining with me. I really appreciate it. As many of you guys know, I'm a news reporter here in Albany, Georgia. However, I have been, doing sports for quite some time in college at the University of Florida. Really just looking to keep this whole sports thing going. We'll see where it takes us. So really excited to jump into the show tonight. We can first off talk about the, the Super Bowl that we obviously all unfortunately had to sit through and watch. Pretty disappointing, if I have to say so myself. I mean, man, that was the lowest scoring ever. That was another problem that we, came across, was people were falling asleep during this game. This game wasn't really that exciting. There wasn't a whole lot going on. Brady's got 262 yards and 1 interception. I'm surprised that there wasn't any more interceptions coming out of Brady at this game, because, he normally flings a couple more of them. He normally isn't afraid to, make shady throws every now and then. Not really sure why. However, he was able to keep his interception limit down to just 1 during this game. We've got Michael for the Pats, had 18 carries, 94 yards, and 1 touchdown. However, Todd Gurley, where are you at, bro? He had 10 carries and 35 touchdowns in this game. The Pats had more yards per play as well. I think it was 253 passing yards for them. Brady, I just wanted to point out, of course, is the GOAT. He is now the official GOAT. He's now the GOAT's GOAT. Your grandfather's GOAT, if you will. There's no question that he is the greatest football player that we are witnessing right now in our lifetime. I am honored and happy, and it's a pleasure to be a part of that. However, I think a lot of people are very excited to see maybe the Patriots fade off after this. If they do, of course, only time will tell what's going to happen with that. Let's take a look at some of these highlights that we had here for the Super Bowl. Bear with me 1 second here, guys. I'll get these up for you. There we go. You can watch a short ad, of course, always YouTube.
We go! Super Bowl! Let's have a day, Jim! All right. Down to the goal line. It's Patterson. He's dangerous. He's going to try that left side. He's taken off. Down the sideline, and finally, it's Sirline, the kicker, who got hold of him. They run it. Michelle rips off a good run for about 13. Tight end set. Michelle, the running back. And a third straight running play. Picks up the first down.
See him right there. We'll see if he's one-on-one or Belichick has come up with a plan to double team him.
Brady's pass. Ball in the air, and it's intercepted. It's picked up on his first throw by Littleton.
And it's a zone drop out, and the ball goes right into his hands, and he hits it up.
3rd and 9. Brady's pass to Edelman, and he's able to beat Talib to the chains. Take the end around. And again, it's Roby Coleman making the quick stick on Burkhead. We do have a mark.
All right, and I believe that one kind of pick off that they had there counted as Brady's solo interception during this game. That pass was a pretty terrible pass. It seemed like it was way high, way to the side. That was the only thing that I really saw that could have been counted for his interception. However, moving forward, the Patriots really did look like their play calling was on point. It looked like they did not have to hesitate at any single moment throughout the game. They had everything that they needed to know in the back of their minds. Their team was ready. The line of scrimmage was always on their toes. Definitely a team that came to play, and the Rams just couldn't match up to them. I think a lot of people predicted that. I pretty much was sure that the Patriots were going to win this one. No offense to the Rams, they played a good season. However, maybe next year they'll be able to bounce back and move on. Now we're going to move on to basketball season. Very excited. We get to give a little bit more time to basketball right now. The football season mostly dictates the show because I love football with all my heart. However, moving on, we want to make sure we show everyone else some love too. We've got the Atlanta Hawks that we want to talk about tonight because they're not sitting so pretty in the Eastern Conference right now. I want to say they are 12th, and they're about 18-35. Ouch. And if you think about it, it's February right now. We're getting pretty close to March time. We're getting pretty close to the nitty-gritty season, or the nitty-gritty time for the NBA season. Now is the time that you really need to get your team together, get everybody on the same page. Make sure you tell everybody in your squad, say, hey, guys, this is crunch time. It's now or never for us, and we need to really move on and see what we can do as far as being a cohesive unit as a team and moving on toward the playoffs eventually down the road. And the Atlanta Hawks, obviously 12th in the Eastern Conference. They are ahead of the Cavs, though, which I never thought I would hear myself say that. Of course, LeBron is now gone from there. We all know that. But, yeah, definitely interesting to hear that. The trade deadline is coming up. Mike Moore's with a quick trade, we're talking about Mike Moore's with a quick trade for the Atlanta Hawks. I think that would put them in the best position. And then maybe trade 2020 second-round pick as well. That could be an option to the 76ers in exchange for Markelle Fultz. This right now is pretty much what I'm thinking. I was writing my notes earlier. I'm thinking the Hawks, they've got to do something desperate. They've got to do something very quick and on their toes when it comes to this trade deadline coming up. That is not something that you want to mess up, especially a team that is this bad. So we'll see if they can, make moves. Make moves for that trade deadline is what I meant to say. So we'll see if they can make moves for that trade deadline coming up. I was thinking maybe, trade in 2020 second round pick to the 76ers in exchange for Markelle Fultz. And that is something that the Atlanta Hawks maybe might want to seriously consider moving forward from here on out. And sure, he's got, some injuries, but he has a proven track record. I think that they will be able to be a little bit better off than they are now if they go forward with that trade. And then maybe we can also look at Taurean Prince to the Nuggets in exchange for Tyler Lydon, Vanderbilt, and future first-round pick as well. That's another option for the Hawks to go through as far as trades go. Prince has that sharp shooting that a lot of people for the Hawks really want to notice and take advantage of, and I think that a lot of the fans have been advocating for him for a while now, at least in the ATL. And they're also able to extend into the summer or, get him into restricted free agency. So that's another option for the Hawks as well. Moving forward, we might keep a close eye on them and see what they do with this trade deadline coming up. Let's take a look now at some highlights from how they've been playing so far.
F-R-E.
In the month of January, but tonight the focus must be on one thing: the Atlanta Hawks. Right now on AT&T Sportsnet. Devin up against Rudy. Both 7-footers, and the tip is won by Gobert. Here we go. Underway, the first of 4. Lost in Portland Wednesday night by 27. But remember, they have won 9 of their last 7. Rubio goes inside first, and guess who? It's Jingling Joe. He breaks loose, and the Jazz are on the board.
Wow, nice.
And it's lost by Collins. A terrific young second-year pro out of Wake Forest.
Yeah, it's a very young starting five, second youngest starting five in the NBA. You see
Herder,
Herder.
and he'll hurt you.
Herder out of Maryland. He can really shoot the ball.
He's 38% from three. Joe inside, soft touch, tap it up for two more. And Eagles on the board early. A look by Collins. And take a look, man, too. Atlanta's going to go about 34 three-point attempts a game.
Absolutely, and that's the way that this young team is trying to develop into. As the Jazz start out this ball game.
Eagles feeling it early.
Right at Herder. That's 3 possessions in a row as well with Conley and Gasol over there. And, you know, he's big in analytics. He knows he tries to play advantage basketball.
Eagles.
Joe Star wasn't able to shoot the 3. He's worked on it. Now he's able to shoot that 3.
Ricky cocked the rim and in. It'll be able with a quick start. And Eagles leads away with a 10th spot. Utah.
So the Hawks sort of moving a little sluggish there, a little more sluggish than a lot of us would like to see at this moment in time. However, they still have a little bit of time. Hopefully we can see what they turn up here soon. And now we want to move on to a new league that I'm very excited and I plan on covering and that I'm pretty interested in, and I think a lot of you guys will be interested in as well. It is the AAF, or the Alliance of American Football. It is basically, a lot of people are talking about, oh, that's similar to the XFL and stuff like that. Not quite. It's going to be a very interesting league. Some of you guys might know about it already, but if you don't, I'm going to go ahead and explain a little bit of it to you. We're not going to dive too deep in it today, but I think it's important because you will be fascinated to find out who a lot of these main people and influencers are that are going to be influencing this league. Let's talk about, you know, the team in Orlando and Atlanta especially. Those two teams are ones that I'm going to be talking a lot about. Orlando is a big deal. Of course, you know, they don't have a football team. They obviously are a big sports hub, and I think that they may do pretty well with what they're looking at right now, their setup that they've got. So listen to, you know, some of this that we have going on. The AAF essentially is going to be like regular NFL football. However, it's more of like a partnership rather than a separate league is what I understood from it. They're not going to have a kickoff. They claim that the kickoff is the most boring part of the NFL game and the least stuff happens and the least fans pay attention during it, which is an interesting study that I thought. No extra points also is going to be included. They're not going to have any extra points kicked or anything like that. And there is going to be 9 different rules from the NFL's rule book as well. So it doesn't seem like there's that many as of right now. And I also heard, don't quote me on this, I also heard there's going to be opportunity for the players in the AAF to transfer or move up to the NFL from what I'm understanding as of right now. However, there are other players who played in the NFL that are now playing in the AAF. Listen to some of these teams. I'll name the teams and the 2 notable people or influencers that are going to be in that. The Arizona Hotshots head coach is Rick Neuschel, and the quarterback is going to be Trevor Knight. The Atlanta Legends, one we're going to be covering, the offensive coordinator, I never would have guessed this, Michael Vick. It seems like he just keeps coming up and keeps getting mentioned, keeps getting his name thrown out there. But Michael Vick, they've picked for their offensive coordinator. Good job, Atlanta. And the quarterback is going to be Aaron Murray. And we've got one in Birmingham Iron. I think this team is going to do extremely well. Of course, Alabama does not have a pro football team. However, their fan base for the University of Alabama is massive. I'm assuming that they're going to start out a little maybe skeptical and then move on and become a much bigger thing. Their quarterback is Blake Sims and their running back is Trent Richardson. The Memphis Express, the head coach is Mike Singletary, quarterback Zach Mettenberger. The Orlando Apollos is, of course, one that we spoke about earlier that we wanted to mention. The head coach is Steve Spurrier. The old Gator great there, going right down the road from Gainesville. Pretty cool that he gets to coach so close to home. I'm very intrigued to see how this will work out. Spurrier doesn't strike me as someone to go off and try something new like that, but obviously, you know, he wanted to do it and he's doing it for a reason, so I'm excited to see what turns out about that. The Salt Lake Stallions, and then we've also got the San Antonio Commanders. and the San Diego Fleet. And the running back there is going to be Bishop Sankey. So a lot of very notable names. I think that's going to be something that's going to be really exciting to watch, really exciting to see. And as things move on and as we get into their season upcoming here, I'm going to make sure that we cover those as well. So make sure you guys tune in next week, and I'll catch you guys later, and have a great week. Thanks for watching Top Shelf Sports.